Well, like Leslie and I were saying, we're so excited to see everybody on the call tonight. We've had a couple weeks off now with the nationwide call last week. So we are going to dive in. We're actually really excited about the call. We're like, ooh, this is going to be fun this week. So let me move this out of the way. We have some shout outs that we wanted to start with. And Leslie, do you want to go through our first shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to give a shout out to Michael Clancy and Dean Lovelace out in Arizona. Michael covered Dean's tournament and raised almost $3,000 out there. Great job, Michael. Great job, Dean. You guys are awesome.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Any day that you're raising, I swear, over $2,000 is a good day. But almost three for a new event. I'm like, wow.
Heck yeah.
And then Leslie and I totaled up our August contest winners. And we are so excited to announce that Sally, Greg, and Noelani are winning some money from their efforts from August. So congratulations to you three. I'm like, amazing job booking so many golf tournaments, hero days, and multiple programs at that. So that's really where they picked up their numbers, I would say, is that most of the events that they were booking had 2 to 3 programs at each event. And now, after you guys were all on the nationwide call last week, now we have the opportunity to have 4 programs at all of our events. So we'll dive into that a little bit later. And then Leslie, do you want to hit the third shout out for us?
Yes, absolutely. John Maxwell. I can't say enough about this guy, you guys. He is amazing and his team's amazing. Grant as well. They went out and raised almost $2,000 with only 90 players on course. I'm super, super proud of them for their first tournament ever down in New Mexico. So great job, you guys.
Woo! New Mexico's on the map. I love it.
Yes, I love it too.
So we were going through because, as I feel like everybody knows across the country, right? August is one of the, at least something I've noticed in my own like bookkeeping and stuff. It's one of the slowest months because it's so hot, around the entire country. So we were really excited that we got a new hero course in California and we're able to work at that course right away. But Mr. Dean Lovelace. Leslie was telling me about him earlier, and he has booked how many courses, Leslie?
I think he's booked like 2 or 3. And so he actually won out of everybody, you guys. And Dean, you won $200 with us. We're super, super proud of you.
Oh,
This is
incredible.
awesome. And guys,
Great job.
a great Instagram account. He actually makes resin work. And so we're going to be working with Dean to make like some really cool hero program merchandise and stuff like that as well. So just have to give a big shout out to Dean, and he's actually getting started with his hero program savings pass stuff as well. So big shout out, Dean. You won $200, man. Great job.
Yeah, great job, everybody.
Yes.
So let's see what we're starting with. Okay, so to just kind of let you guys know what sort of things we wanted to cover tonight, we have a guest speaker from David's team, Matt Gibson. He's going to go over here shortly his massive success, with the digital platform and online fundraising. We've been talking probably about David's team the last couple of weeks because they've been really kicking it up a notch on that side. And so I love, again, which you guys have heard me probably say already, that it's really like the first program that we've had with Elite where you can really work from home. And it has nothing to do with golf. So I'm excited to learn some things from Matt tonight. Then I'm going to cover more about the banquet fundraising that we're offering now in case anybody was not on the nationwide call last week or hasn't been able to watch the recording. And Miss Leslie is going to cover how we're helping out Maui right now with some disaster relief. So we're so excited to, be able to help them in any way that we possibly can, but we definitely need all of your guys' help with that. So I'm like, Matt, without further ado, Leslie and I would love, we went ahead and put out some questions that we were hoping that you would cover. But if you want to just hop on and tell us, more about your success with online fundraising and give us some tips and tricks, that would be amazing. Is Matt on with us, maybe?
I think he is. Matt, can you hear us okay? Oh, I think you're muted.
I might be able to unmute him.
Okay, I think
Can
you
you
just
hear me
lost.
now? Can you hear
Yes,
me
we
now?
can. We
All
can
right,
hear
good.
you.
All right, so in Alabama, everybody on my team has done at least one campaign already, and we are pushing ahead. Now, I've sent some a working model for everyone on your team to have. It's our Lakeview Elementary. It's a school of about 850 children. It's a PTO program, and what we're doing is I'm trying to equip all my guys to have a working model that you can demonstrate when you go to a school, a PTO, or anything else. And we also are working charities, and I'll talk a little bit about our success in the charities. We have landed one veteran program called Operation Reconnect. That what they do is they provide veterans coming off of military service a week's vacation to reconnect with their family. So that's the company we've organized with, and what they're doing is they're having a raffle giveaway of about 1,776 tickets for a golf cart, and this is kind of our precursor for the main event in January. In January, they partnered with Rough Country Jeep to give away a $98,000 Jeep. It's got all the bells and whistles on it,
Whoa.
and they will the Jeep Rough Country Jeep has 1 million followers that they'll be sending this email out to in hopes to raise funding through our program using our EFS wrapper as the hub for this program. So obviously we're pretty excited and looking forward to that one beginning in January, and kind of a dry run we're going to have here in the next few weeks for the golf cart giveaway.
Wow.
Now, but for me and for what I think all your teammates need to understand is that the school programs are really where we have a really significant advantage at this moment. And we have as I say, about an 18-month window to capture as many schools as possible. If you've ever had to do a school fundraiser, I have 3 children that have gone through school, have 2 in college now. And so I've seen it all. I've sold donuts, I've sold candy, gift wrap, bedding, you name it, we've had to do it. And the coaches and the administrators, what will they tell you that they hate about it? One, they hate having their children go door to door selling. 2, they hate the parents having to collect the money. 3, they hate the teachers having to find out what parents missing, what money they're missing, and then turning it all in, then getting the materials that they sold, making sure their order's correct, and sending the kids back out for a second time. And our program eliminates all of the headaches that schools have for fundraising. And what we tell them is that we're not selling our ESP, our savings pass. We're telling them we're creating a campaign in which they can raise money, and their donors are going to receive a nice gift for donating to the school. And I think that's a real key element of what we're doing and why we're successful, is that we don't want the children out there selling the savings pass. We want the children going, "Hey, grandma, you mind sending me $100 for our school? And oh, by the way, you get this really nice savings pass." And so if you'll inside all your AVPs, your regional reps here, they have a working model. And inside this working model is the banner, and then there's the campaign goals, and then there's a nice video from the PTA saying this is what we do at the school. And then you guys get another video that says, "Oh, by the way, for donating today, here is Incredible Hearts video that has 1.7 million businesses, 850,000 hotels," and then we have their donate page. And they work with a $40 start for the elementary school. The worst the school is going to do is a 50% return on investment, return on donation. And that's better than pretty much anything else they're already working with. Donuts are 10, 15% return. Gift wrapping, they may be lucky to get 30, 40% out of it. And so all of these things, we tell them, look, start with 40, but if they get $100 donation from grandma, they make 80% of that donation to the school. And we tell them the visibility is there. there's an administrator on the dashboard gets to see every donation in real time. And then those monies are collected and sent to the school via check, because most schools want a check, instead of the direct deposit. So they get it via the check every 2 weeks. And that is something that they just can't get anywhere else. And it's working.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to share the page while you were talking so people could
Sure.
see, just how easy it is to throw this together. And keep in mind, you guys don't have to organize anything. We really just need something to go along, like the banner. It could just be a logo or, more personalized, like they did it, really more about them and what their goals are for fundraising. They happen to have a video, which was amazing to be able to add on here. And then we link, our Elite Savings Pass to explain it a little bit better, but they can see, some of the examples of what they're getting by having this Savings Pass as a gift for them donating. And again, there are just so many everyday, I would think, like life savings on there, Target's on there. Me living right down the street from Disney World, there's discounts there, and at Universal, you can save money on flights with cashback rewards, all kinds of stuff. So it's really, I feel like, a Groupon on steroids, and the best GoFundMe that you could possibly have,
100%. So I'm going to give you 2 ways in which you guys can fast track. And I'm going to start with a high school golf team. So everybody here, I believe, are elite and crank reps. So why not double your opportunity by targeting high school golf teams and saying, look, we can raise money for your school program and give you the best equipment known to man at a discounted rate when you raise your money. So I've got a high school golf team in Florence, Alabama, that we're starting our campaign in 2 weeks, that we'll have everything put together. When we finish raising money, they have 15 golfers. I plan on selling 45 golf clubs of crank equipment to them at a smaller rate, but I'm going to make my money doing the EFS, and then I'm going to make money doing crank. And what have I created with the crank program is I've got 15 young golfers using our equipment going forward, that every time they need an upgrade and they go to their college coach or they go next, they're going to say, how'd you get this crank stuff? And they're going to come right back to us. And I think that's the way we affect the next generation. And then my last tip, besides trying to find charities, is everybody on this call probably has a charity in your city that operates multiple thrift stores. All right. So the key to those people are, my approach to them is pretty simple. I want to turn your customers into donors. So we create an EFS campaign for them that has a Q code and it talks about their charity in details with a video, just like you see for the school, except it's all for the charity. And then we print the Q code on their receipts, their register receipts, and we train their cashiers to say, hey, look, at the bottom of the receipt, the Q code that tells more about our charity. We'd love for you to scan this program and learn more about us. This one vet charity I'm working with in Huntsville has 9 thrift stores.
Wow.
They have 15,000 people through their stores a month. If I can turn 1% of those people into donors for them, they will get an additional 150 donors a month. And I'm going to make $1,000 a month for that. But if I can get 2, 3, 4, even 5%, then the money really begins to multiply. And it's an ongoing campaign. And truly, guys, I also left your RVPs a video that we did where we looked onto our savings pass and we booked a trip to New York City. And we showed the savings that they got on the hotel and the cash back reward. And some of those hotels in New York it was $775 cash back. So
Wow.
not only are they getting great rates, they immediately can see the value of what we can present to them.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I know that we added a couple questions because we had questions from our team, and so a lot of people, I feel like, have been like, So how do we go talk to these schools? Do we just walk onto their campus? Do we, who are we asking for really? So if you have any sort of advice on that side on like how to just make that initial contact of like who to get to or how to do it so that you
Okay,
don't
so
like random,
if you're
that's awesome.
okay, so if you're to me, I look for large groups, and your elementary schools are going to have your most kids, and they're also going to have the largest parental involvement. So what you want to target there is the PTA, the PTA Parent Teachers Organization, the Parent Teachers Association, and you want to find out who the school's PTA president is or who their fundraising director is.
Okay.
And if you're looking at middle schools, then I look at the band programs, because the band program is going to have 100, 200 kids in this program, and they're also going to give you large volumes of kids to go out and do sales, because you're looking for the law of large numbers. Now, that's not to say the football programs with 150 kids are not someone you want to talk to, or the golf things, but the bigger the school, the bigger the opportunity. And those, because if you have 300 kids, you only need 5 to have 1,500 donations, and that's a lot of money to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
I
that's
mean,
definitely helpful already. And through, going to schools or whoever you've talked to so far, have you heard of any like objections that maybe you didn't know right away? You had to go back and ask like the Savings Pass people or anybody that maybe you could share with us to help us be better when we do talk to them?
I can tell you that if you will go whale hunting, which I've done, I'm chasing big whales.
Mhm.
If you go whale hunting, Ann is a tremendous resource for you, and that she can give you things that we can't. I mean, like there's a charity in Atlanta. It's got 100,000 donors already. They're going to allow us to go direct to them, and they are going to be a branded charity, and they are going to have their own branded campaign. And the money's not. We're still going to get paid at Elite, but the money's not going from Elite to them. The money is going to go direct to the charity, minus the $20 gift. So they're going to have an opportunity to get their money direct. And those are the kind of things that if you will ask questions, be aggressive, and try to find the big kahunas out there, then you can get some special waivers and some special things to happen for you.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Do you feel like the approval took a while at all too, or what kind of like process are we looking at, do you think?
Okay, so I think you're looking at a 3 week on a school situation, a minimum of 3 weeks. I mean, the first one we did in Davidson High School was a long process, because we had to go through the central board's office to get approvals to be there in their fundraising program.
Okay.
But as a general rule, when you're starting with the elementary schools or with a school, administrative pushback. I mean, if you'll come in with an operating program that you can show them, and then you'll come in with your deck. Those two things, you show them the program with your phone, and you show them your own savings pass in person to demonstrate it. You leave them the deck so that the principals and administrators have what's needed to make further decisions.
Okay, perfect. Does the team have any other additional questions? I know after the last training that we had, I got several calls on like the excitement that our team had from online fundraising, being able to do it from home, people they could contact. But does anybody else want to ask Matt anything?
Yeah, I have a question. Matt, are you gifting anybody the savings pass at all?
No,
You're not gifting administrators or anybody in charge?
nope. I show them an operating program, and they I tell them, look, you're going to receive, this is how it's going to look, this is what it does, here's the video, this is the proof of the savings that are available to your people. I haven't had a need to give anything away in order to move the thing forward. I think look, the schools themselves know how bad fundraising is and know how much people hate it. And what we're doing is so far above what's been available. And I'm telling you, though, we have an 18-month window in which to capitalize this, because there are They're coupon book programs that they're going to digitalize their thing when they see what's happening here. And they're going to come with a direct to school kind of program. It's going to happen. So you've got to capitalize the advantage we have that nobody else is doing at this moment. And look, guys, you've got 60 days before winter starts to creep into your area. So, golf is going to carry you good right up to maybe to Veterans Day or whatever. But unless you live in California where you can play golf 365 a year, you're going to need some things to get you through the winter. And this is the program you can roll out to the basketball teams. You can roll out to the softball teams, to the baseball, to the golf teams, to the tennis team. All these programs are available to as the seasons progress through the sports. They're all available for you to roll out to that level, that group of coaches as their season begins. And they all need fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Does anybody else have a question that they wanted to ask? I know we have a couple newer team members, so if none of this makes sense because you only know about our golf fundraising, then don't worry, we'll get you all filled in with our additional trainings. But Matt, this was awesome. I was writing down a ton of notes. Thank you so much for getting on our call today and helping explain more. We really appreciate you giving us your time.
I'm sorry. I always have a bunch of questions. There's questions on here. Objections. What kind of objections did they have for you, Matt? What are they saying? I mean, not everybody is enthusiastic about things. Sometimes they're a little bit, they think they've heard everything, Matt. You understand that? When I go into places, sometimes they think they've heard it, and they turn a deaf ear sometimes. So what kind of objections are you hearing?
I mean, as a general rule, if I get a lot of pushback, I move on. I'm not a person who believes that you should. I mean, you can't take everybody and make them force into the well and make them drink. You've got to manage your resources and your time. And there are so many schools out there, so many football programs, baseball, basketball. There are so many of these programs around you that it's sort of like Jesus said in the Bible. If you walk into the city and they turn you away, wipe the dust off your feet and go to the next ones. And I'm of the point that I believe we have I do believe we have the best program out there, bar none. Having been in the finance world and been in the fundraising world for a long time, this program eliminates so many negatives that the schools have to go through, that charities go through. It's really, I mean, the opportunity is there. And I'll say this, I want all my guys to make 6 figures a year. So my goal for every member of my team is to do at least 20 of these between now and the end of the year. Because if they do that, then when the golf season comes around next year, I want them to be able to donate their money they make from golf back to the Hero program and live off what we make here. And it's clearly 100% doable. If you do 20 programs, you should average $5,000-$10,000 a program. And if you'll do that, and especially if you find a monster charity, dude, I got 100,000 donors at this one in Atlanta. If they hit, or I get this Jeep one going the way I think it will, if it hits, I won't need money. I'll be able to donate it back. I'll be able to do what I want to do to take care of my family. And that's what this program provides you, the opportunity to make more money than all of our other programs rolled into one.
I love it. We have a question in the chat too from Sarah Tate. Hi, Sarah. Can you email the link to the elementary fundraising campaign so we can incorporate that into our email presentation? So absolutely. Sarah, we will email that out. Matt has already emailed that to us, so we'll email that out with this recording.
Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you, Matt.
No problem.
Michael,
thank you so much. This was wonderful. I really love it.
I always have questions. You know that. I don't sit here quietly. I know that people are afraid to ask. I know I've seen all these faces. I see the same thing every time. So I'm not afraid to ask questions because this is something that's important for us. A lot of these things, it sounds so easy for some people, and others, I mean, yeah, let's face it, we're not all made the same way. And well, I lead my horse to water. And if that sucker don't drink the water, I got to do something. I got to whack it on the ass or do something. Come on. So everybody has a different method of doing things. Okay. And Matt,
Sure.
everything you make it sound super easy. And I hope it is.
But it's okay. It's not so much as it's super easy as if you will train yourself to get in front of the people. If you, I mean, I believe that this is one of those things that when people are going to get it, and when they get it, they're not going to want to. They're going to really. They'll understand it. If they don't understand it, there are groups out there. But I'm a very much a numbers guy. And when you're telling them that we want to raise for their schools a minimum 50% return on donation, they don't have any program out there doing that for them. It's
Yeah.
very rare. And so like if they did let's just say they did the coupon books. Well, if they were to get $100 in coupon book sales, they're going to have 65, 70 bucks in coupon book costs. Where if I get $100 donation from our program, they're going to get 80% of the money. And they're going to have complete visibility and access to the backside, so that when little Jan's grandmother makes that $100 donation, the school administrator knows it immediately. It's crystal clear.
How many schools? How many have you tried? How many?
The one you see, the Lakeview
rate?
Elementary one, September 19th is the kickoff of that school. I've got Davidson High School's golf program. I've got Florence High School's golf program, and we are starting into Brookwood High School and a couple of others, as well as my team is working on 6 other elementary schools at the moment.
Yeah, but my question is, how many schools have you gone to? What's your closing rate? What do you figure on?
Right now, we're batting 1,000.
Oh my God! Okay, great.
I mean, it's good
Love it.
because we were lucky enough to get that Davidson High School program up first, and they were the first school we went to, and so we were able to take their campaign and show other schools. So that gives us instant credibility amongst the area. So if you can find that one affluent school and you can hook them immediately and show them the program and get them involved, then you have instant credibility with the rest of that county or the rest of that city. And they'll say, well, if they're doing it, why we should be doing it too.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Matt.
Yep, no problem.
Are there any other questions from the team? Because we do want to keep this under an hour. So,
hey, just to let you know, also in Kentucky, Eric up there just snagged he got with the superintendent. The entire school district is going to incorporate the savings pass throughout all the schools.
wow, that's amazing. Give Eric a big shout out for us, because that's awesome. Eric is one of a kind. He's great.
And that superintendent is going to help us get other superintendents.
Yep.
Great idea.
Hey, Matt,
Yes.
when you went after the schools, did you send them any kind of an email ahead of time, or do you just go knock on the door and ask for the person in charge of such and such a program?
Luckily for me, I started with people I knew. I started with coaches I knew. I started with administrators I knew, and I didn't go in cold. Not to say you can't go in cold, but I always felt like you build your momentum through people you know, and that's I'm hired. I just hired 3 people to do nothing but EFS school fundraising, and they're all former coaches or people who know someone inside their systems, so they have a warm and fuzzy when they walk in the door.
Nice.
Love it.
To be honest,
Thank
that's
you.
kind of where my brain went too. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'd be comfortable enough reaching out to where I graduated high school from, or my own middle school or elementary schools, So
That's a
that's
good
kind of what I thought about doing too.
Very good point.
Thank you, Mike, for asking a question.
All right. Well, thank you again, Matt, for coming on tonight. We really appreciate you giving us some nuggets on
problem.
how to be successful. Leslie, I believe I'm next, right? Should we? Okay. So the other thing that we wanted to cover One, because we have a couple new people that have joined our team, but I know that not everybody, can always make those all team nationwide calls. So we wanted to share with everybody that we now have Banquet Fundraising. So it's something that David and his team have done for a while now, and they are super, super successful. So I asked David, Leslie and I asked David to join the team as well. Or the call tonight to go over especially the driver side of things, because I don't think there is anybody doing anything remotely as close to how well that they are doing at banquet sales. So David, do you mind to just kind of share, what you and your team have done with the Hero Crank drivers so that everybody can get more familiar on that side?
Oh, you're on mute, David.
Thank you for having me on, Audra. I'll try to make this as short and as sweet as possible. These three programs we're going to incorporate at the banquet at the end. And they all run simultaneously together. Now, for those of you that have never done anything at the banquet except hand out the stuff that needs to come from the Crank It Hole and the KP winners, that kind of stuff, this is going to be different for sure. But I think that it's just like anything, if you can get used to doing it, I'm going to go over the benefits for you. And I've been doing the Crank It Hero auction for 2 years now. And I think most of you heard on the national call that the record we're holding right now is we auctioned off 5 of these hero drivers for $14,000.
Amazing.
We've auctioned them off for 3,000, 5,000. We've sold 2, 3, 4. Okay, now where did this all come from? Well, for those of you that do not know what the hero driver is, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it is a very special club that Jay designed, where it's really a dedication to our heroes. It's taking the hero program, combining it with the greatest golf clubs in the world and saying, here, this is how much we care about our heroes. And it is spectacular. It's spectacular. It has an American flag ghosted in the paint. Nobody else has ever done anything like this. It says Hero USA on the face. And of course, this is the cover. Now, if you do a Crank It Hole, if you're doing a Crank It Hole at the tournament, this can go really pretty, because people were already trying the drivers. You already went through the crank spiel. You even had your hero drivers at the Crank It Hole, and people are like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's got a flag in the paint. John, look at this. It's got a flag in the paint. Yeah. Well, that's a hero driver. It's very special. And we're going to be auctioning those off at the awards ceremony. So make sure you got your credit card ready. Yeah. So when you get to this point, you don't really have to talk about crank too much because you did out on the Crank It Hole. But I will say this, one of my guys who does not have all of his demos, he has one driver, one hero driver, and he did a tournament just doing the hero hole. And he did this at the banquet and auctioned off 3 hero drivers with just one club.
Wow.
Okay? Now, okay, so when do you do these? When do you do all 3 of these? You want to do it when people are eating. Either the dinner or the lunch, depending on when the shotgun was. Your people are now, these people have been drinking all day. When is the most for sure time they will not miss at the tournament? For sure. The food. Right? Absolutely. They're going to get that food. So this is the ideal time. The other part of this is you are not adding any more time to the tournament. You're not. I've got everyone there. I've got their undivided attention somewhat, and I'm not taking any more time. Now you need to set this up with the tournament. You need to set it up way before it happens. You need to go over it again in the morning when you get there. Now listen, This is what we're going to do at the hero hole. This is how it works. Bah, 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 bah. This is what we're doing at the crank it hole. This is what we're doing out there. Bah, 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 bah. Oh, by the way, don't forget at the award ceremony during the dinner, I need that time. That's me. I need it. Because here's the thing is, if you wait till after everything is done and then you try to run this, it's not very successful. Why? Because people have left. You've lost half the crowd. They get after the food, they get up and start walking out. For those of you that have done tournaments, you know what I'm talking about. It's over for them. Okay. You want this captive time. Now, how I started is this. And you cut me off anytime if I go too long, Audra.
Okay.
How I started is this. I start talking about crank golf. I talk about the hero program. The reason we're doing the reason it's called the hero hole is we're out on golf courses every single day of the week, raising millions of dollars to help our veterans and first responders in wonderful ways. I go through the ways. Now at Crank Golf, our sister company, we took that a step further and we created this work of art. It is a masterpiece. It's a collector's piece. It's not for sale on crankgolf.com. Go log in right now. You will not see the hero driver. How do you get one? You need to stalk me. We're going to do it right here, right now. We're going to raise some extra money for this cause. Now, I'm going to tell you how special this is. This is a collector's piece. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world. But don't get me wrong. Some people just buy it and they're going to put it on their man cave. They're going to put it up on the wall. It's a collector's piece. It's a conversation piece. Don't get me wrong. Even though that some people do that, we're going to build this club to your swing speed and put 150 variations on top of that. You literally can show up at the golf course and smack this thing around. Now, if Crank Golf makes the greatest golf clubs the world has ever known, it's not disputed. This is the greatest golf club man has ever made. This is it. Very special. Now, what we're going to do is this. We're going to auction these off right now. Anything above $400 and $20 to ship it is going to be the tournament's money. We're going to give it to them right now. Okay? Now, I do want to say this before we get things wrapped. Most of you saw this out on the course today. It was pretty cool. It's got an American flag ghosted in the paint. Now, I want to say this so you guys understand this. Our heroes need our help more than ever. 2022 saw the most suicides ever in the history of the country. Active and retired military first responders ever. It's not getting any better. Get involved in helping our heroes. Get involved. Do something. Get involved because we're losing them at an astonishing and embarrassing rate. Okay, get involved. Now, I'm going to tell you how special this paint job is. At the foundry, when they shut down production of our normal fire drivers and they say, hey, we're going to make some hero drivers, there's a collective among the workers there. Why? It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to get this paint right. And if it's not right, we're not going to accept it. It's a paint. Now that's the way it should be. This is a collector's piece. This was dedicated to our heroes. It should take some time. I'll tell you this too. In the dark, you can't see that flag. You can't see it. Even if it's a cloudy day, you can barely see the flag. But if it's a sunny day, that flag lights up like a neon sign.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you something. Does that sound like our heroes? We got folks in the dark and you can't see them. You can't see them. All we need to do is bring them out into the light and let's save them. Now let's get this bidding started. 450, bid by 450, bid. And I go into my rant and here we go. And I'm going to tell you something. It's the most exciting thing you will ever see in golf, ever. I've got people chanting. I've got people shit talking across. I got people jumping up and down, trying to get my attention on the bids. I mean, I'm going at it.
Yeah.
and we sell them, and we sell them for obviously a lot of money, and it's a very special time. Now, I don't start the auction over. Let's say we got a finishing bid of $3,000. The next place was 2,900, and then maybe another third that dropped off at 2,700. I will go to all three of those. We got $3,000. Okay, your last bid was 2,900. Do you want one of these for $2,900? Yeah. Okay, great. See me here when we're done. Hey, you bid at 2,700. You were out. Do you want a hero driver at 2,700? Yeah. Okay, great. Come see me at the end here. Now, take 3,000 plus 2,900 plus 2,700 and deduct 400, 400, 400. What did we just raise for that tournament in about 20 minutes? More importantly, because I know some on this team, because I know they're on my team, what's in it for me? Well, did anybody notice what the starting price was? Anybody? 400 was my cost. I'm sorry, not the starting bid. Yeah. What was my cost? 400. Well, what are you buying the drivers for? $299.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made $100 on each driver. 3, 4, 5. I just made $1,000 in 20 minutes.
Yep.
I don't know many jobs out there, and I challenged my team this morning during my call. I don't know if you know one, just let me know right now. Okay, where you can make $1,000 an hour, and you can go get it right now. You have this now. The second program, keep going, Audra, if it's okay with you. The second program, we're going to take this moment right now where I've got everyone's attention, and we're going to move it into the next phase. Okay, listen, everybody had a chance to get the Cancun trips out there, but we had the challenge go. Okay, we're going to do it one more time for those of you that really want these $1,000 trips, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to bid it, and we're going to split the money with the tournament. How's this sound? Okay, we're going to start the bidding at 200. Here we go. 100, 250, bid buy now, 2. I got 250, 250, bid buy. Okay, go. Now, I got to tell this story for those of you that missed it and know Jay. He was put in a situation 2 weekends ago at a tournament. Okay. He does not like to get in front of people. By the way, that's me right behind me. That's me doing a hero auction in front of 300 people. No microphone. You could hear a pin drop. That picture right there says it all. 300 people in that room.
Wow.
Now, Jay was put in a position that he did not like, which is talking in large groups of people like this. He's like, I'm no David Will. Okay. Well, he set it up. He's like, hey, let's do this. He set it up at the end. He's like, hey, why don't we auction off these Cancun trips? Do you want to do it? Talking to somebody in the tournament. They're like, oh, that sounds good. Good. Well, go ahead, auction them, whatever, and we'll split the money. So anyway, the tournament goes, hey, I want everybody's attention. We're going to do this. Hey, Jay, come up and go ahead and do it. And he's like, okay, that's not really what I had in mind, but he was stuck. And even Jay had, you just do what you do. And what did he sold? He sold Leslie 4 trips, 3 or 4 trips.
Yep.
And $400. Look at how much of that is your money? How much more did we just raise? Okay, one last thing, trying to keep things flowing. The one last thing we're going to do is, and on my team, we incorporated this a month and a half ago, and you should all be doing it, hopefully, is every tournament that you set up should now have the savings pass, the elite savings pass added to it, complimentary. Whether you do a hero hole, a crank it hole, hero hole, super ticket, whatever, they now are getting the savings pass incorporated into their tournament. What are they going to say? Hey, by the way, so glad you're letting us come out and help you. Just because we are going to get involved, we're going to start a campaign for you that you can raise funds year-round. There's no obligation. You can use it, don't use it, whatever. It's included. Just think about GoFundMe on steroids with a tremendous gift. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. All electronic. This is not a big thing. Okay, it's just incorporated. What I've never had a tournament even second. They're like, wait a minute, that's included? Yeah, it's included. Yeah. Okay. So we already got this campaign started for this tournament. And if you don't know how to do it, get with the RVPs, get with Ann. I mean, this is super easy to get going. When you show up at your tournament, the campaign is ready to go. Boom. Now, when you also show up at the tournament, you need to have copies of the tournament, the savings pass for that tournament, their QR code. You need to have a bunch of copies, and here's the reason why. This is what we're going to do. All right, folks, thank you so much. We're going to do one more thing. Now, first of all, everyone, give yourselves a round of applause because we ain't raising no money unless you came out today. Very thankful that you're here. Very happy that you got involved. Now, I know some of you, because you said it to me, I'd really like to help this organization more. Okay, well, we're going to put that to the test right now, because when this tournament's over here in a few moments, it's over. And then maybe see you next year. But in the meantime, does this organization stop needing money? No, it's a year-round thing. We're going to give you an opportunity right now to get involved in reoccurring payments. We're going to do $9.99 a month right now. We're going to do $9.99 a month right now. You're going to set it up. It's going to be super easy. All you do is hit this QR code with your phone. You can set it up. Boom. Who wants to do $9.99 a month right now? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Come on, raise it. Let's go. Get it up. Okay, now, you talk about peer pressure, right, Leslie? Peer pressure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're the only guy at the table without your hand raised and everybody looks at you like, what is your problem? And you're like, you're right, I'm in. I'm in. Now, here's why you need copies of this QR code. You can't go around and get everyone's information. That would take an hour, okay? What you do, though, is you hand these QR codes out to everyone involved with the tournament. But there's always 10, 15, 20 people. Everyone gets a QR code, and they go to everyone that's got their hand up, and the phone scans a QR code. They set up the payments. Now, I'll say this one last thing, and it's all your show again. I've made a lot of money on tournaments, and I know Audra and Leslie have as well. Over $10,000 working a tournament. Large tournaments, chaos, total fun. Multiple programs, yeah. Over 10 grand. Now, I don't know. Again, I'll challenge you. How many jobs, how many careers out there you make 10 grand? Opportunity to make 10 grand in one day.
That's insane.
But when that tournament's over, it's over. And you don't have a chance to make any more money until next time, right? Not anymore. If there's 140 players at that tournament and 100 of them sign up at $9.99. Now, I challenged my team this morning to put those numbers together. It was horrible. What's 100 times $9.99? Can anyone come up with that real fast? Anyone? Same problem. See,
$999.
it's $1,000. It's $1,000.
Not quite. You're a little bit
Okay.
short. David.
Yeah, I'm just rounding it. Thank you, Michael. I'm just rounding it. Yeah. Now, what's your percentage? What's your percentage? Where you're at, the level that you're at, what's your percentage? Well, let's just say you're at the rep level, 15%. You're going to get $150 a month off of that tournament. Every month.
Yep.
If that's just one, what if I did 5 and did this? What if I did 10? What if I did 10 tournaments this month and I had 10 grand coming in? That's $1,500 a month. 1 month. What about after a year? And I'll say one last thing. If you did all of this and now we got reoccurring payments coming into that organization, that does Dixon do this? Does that company where they shoot the ball out of the thing, do they do this? Come on.
Definitely not.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Do you think that they would ever go anywhere else to help them with their events? In what you just did? No. Thank you, Audra, for having me. As always, Leslie.
No,
Great
thank
stuff.
you, Mr.
It's
Texas,
fun.
everybody.
Before we
Absolutely.
leave this,
Yeah, any
before you
questions?
leave this screen,
Oh yeah, of course.
okay, down your bottom point here where it says you can also only book the tournament or the
Yes.
banquet. I think you need to change the only to follow book. So you should have it say you can also book only the banquet program. Because the way it's set right now, it says you can't book it unless they're not doing any of the on-course fundraising.
That's what we are saying. So if a
So
tournament-
you cannot do any of this if somebody is doing it on-course fundraising.
No, so what we meant by the last point, Mike, is that if you've talked to a tournament and maybe it's just too last minute, or they don't want any sort of like on-course fundraising or anything, you can only focus on these programs to just do at their banquet. So we just wanted
Right.
people to know that this is another option to get around, we already have plenty of super ticket opportunities. We might already have all of our hole-in-ones. We're good to go. We don't allow on-course fundraising, but actually we don't have anybody fundraising at the banquet. Yeah, please come and do this. So we want everybody to know this is just another option for them.
Right,
Hey,
that's
can
what
I-
I'm saying. It should
Okay,
say you can also book only the banquet program.
Oh,
Okay,
it's just a wording thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries. And this isn't like a flyer that's going out or
Right.
anything. It was just my own notes to go through, but thank you. I will make sure I have Leslie
Because
double check.
when I read that initially, I'm going, well, I can't do any of these at a tournament because I'm doing the TSP or the PMP or whatever, the way it's written right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not
thank
what we
you.
meant. Yeah. That's why we
Okay,
said
thank you for
also
clarifying.
only book the banquet programs. But also, I just want to point out one thing really quick, everybody. Everyone knows the 58 that was shot by Bryson DeChambeau on the Live Tour, tied for the all-time record. Okay. You know what driver he was using. He was using our driver. That's a huge selling point right now. And I want to bring up one more thing for Mr. Texas, because he's insanely amazing at doing what he does best. And how many is it now, David? 30 drivers you've sold since Bryson hit that 58?
Yeah, we're at closer to 40 now in a month. So 40 in a month now. This has nothing to do with on course. This is people that just reached out to me because they know that I'm crank in Texas. The crank in Texas. So it's one of those moments in time. I do want to say this one last thing. Have you ever seen online where they're doing, like, I just saw one, they're doing a hacky sack, not a hacky sack. They're doing a cornhole tournament. And they were reaching out to try to find, they're going to do, it's for a benefit. And they're looking and they're reaching out, hey, do you want to donate anything for our silent auction? They're going to do an auction, silent auction. Okay. What could you come in there? It's not even a tournament. It's not even a golf tournament. Could you come in there and do these three things? Boom, boom, boom. For a cornhole tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Because I know those cornhole nut jobs are all patriotic people. I know they are because I run into them all the time. Yeah, now, listen, you can do this anywhere that has an auction going on, some kind of auction. Oh, I do want to say this. Not all of you are nut jobs like me, energy-wise, getting in front of people like this. This does take some getting used to, just like Jay. And then afterwards, Jay's like, well, I could do that all the time. Yes, all of you can.
Yeah.
All of you can. And, Audra said, I don't know, listen, it's just like everything. Get out there, make a fool of yourself for a good cause. That's what I always say. Get out there. Dude, I'm a clown. I'm a clown on a purpose here. Okay. And so have a great time. That's what this is all about. This is not a funeral. Hopefully not.
You're
We're
hiding
here to
so
have
well,
fun. We're here
David.
to raise money. We're here to have a good time. Let's do it. Oh, by the way, here's what else we got going on. do it. I'm going to tell you, once you start doing it, you really look forward to it. It's something you look forward to at the end. It's like, oh man, I can't wait. This is going to be great. Yes. Now, what if you cannot do it? If you're one of those people like my wife, where she would literally pass out from anxiety, like pass out. Okay. Get somebody in the auction, or sorry, get somebody in the tournament to do it. Don't let this go by. Get somebody at that tournament is a loudmouth like me. Oh, that's always. Get them to do it. Get them to do it. And you're still going to reap the rewards, but don't ever come through the end of that tournament and not do this, because everything, now the reoccurring payments, the extra money that's raised, come on. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
David, have I understood you correctly? You set up the digital platform ahead of time. So you've talked to the tournament ahead of time, so you're all set.
Yeah, 2 weeks before the tournament, you already have everything that you need, basically, right? You've got the flyer. You know why they're raising money. You should have asked when you talk to them about the tournament, how much are you trying to raise? You know that. You know what this is all about. So you already have, you just need to maybe fill in a couple more pieces. By the way, I need this for this campaign. Blah. Okay, that's it. Then you put it in the CRM. Make sure Ann knows it's for a tournament that's coming up for this day. She'll get it built just like that campaign you all saw that Matt did. How wonderful did that campaign? How professional did that look? That's what we have going on right now. This is not, we are on the front edge. Okay, I'm going to keep going, Audra. Sorry, you cut me off.
It's okay.
Listen, school fundraising is a $300 billion a year monster. If the mob could get involved in it somehow, I'm sure they would. But here's the thing that's been going on with fundraising. It's the same crap for decades. They're still doing cookies. They're still doing wrapping paper. For God's sake, they're selling mattresses. Can you imagine kids going door to door selling mattresses? Okay, it's the same crap these kids have to go through. When I was in school, I loathed fundraising, because believe it or not, I was not a people person back then. I did not like talking to people. And so going up and knocking on the door and then say, hi, I'm David with the football. Hey, by the way, hey, listen, could you really help us out? No. Okay, thank you. And then I go to the next house. Okay. I hated it. Well, listen, this is all electronic. There is no downside for the school, and none. And we are on the leading edge. Nobody's doing this. No one. Let me say that again. There's no one doing this.
Thank God you've overcome your shyness.
One of those moments. It's one of those moments. It's kind of like Leslie's saying. It's one of those moments in business here. DeChambeau shooting the 58. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If everyone in your community, if everyone in your town, if everyone in your city doesn't know that you're the crank rep there, what are you doing? Okay? It's the same thing with this. If every school in your area doesn't know what you do and how well it is and what it is, come on. Like Matt said, I'm going to tell you something. Nothing against Matt. Okay? But he is not a tremendous people person. He's very logical, obviously, but he's at work. It's just get it in front of people. Okay, shut up. I'm shutting up, Audra. Shut up.
No, this was awesome. Thank you so much for going through all of this, because you and your team have proven to be the best by far at live auctioning the crank drivers. So hearing from you that even you think that we should go into Cancun after that and the digital platform is awesome. And I will make sure that everybody has the new deck attached to our call link, but it is also live on the CRM. Leslie and I made sure right before this call And I'll make sure that our notes for how everybody gets paid off of each, program, how that works too, just so you can save it in your guys' notes.
Yeah.
But moving on to our last piece of information, we have Leslie going over our Maui disaster relief program, and we are so excited to be able to have come up with something to help a little bit more, but I would love for Leslie to hop on and explain how we can do this the best way possible.
Yes, and I am using, as kind of a demonstration, Mike French, I'm using your flyer that we made for El Camino Country Club here. You guys, this is a really cool thing that we're able to do now, and we have corporate approval for all of this. We can do custom charity flyers for something like a huge disaster that's taken place in our communities, in our nation. And this is something that we're kind of focusing on, just kind of, not only to raise awareness and raise funds for that relief, or for, in this case, the Maui disaster relief, but it tugs on the heartstrings as well. It's something that's, current events that are happening in our nation that we can really call on the community to help fundraise for. So these flyers can be customized to any particular fundraising cause. And these campaigns can be utilized within local and national companies. So if you're trying to put flyers in your local gyms, like we're doing here in Colorado, local golf course club pro shops, any kind of grocery stores, something like that, you can have something like this with a QR code. The only thing here is I don't want you guys to get too confused with the QR code. This is a different QR code than your personal QR code that you get from Ann and Trinity for your savings pass. This is a QR code made specifically for this relief fund. Okay, so that has to be done ahead of time. Contact Morgan and I, please contact both of us, and we'll get you started with your own QR code. We'll make sure that that's live and everything. But people like Mike French are going to be using these posters and these flyers out on the golf course this weekend and fundraising on behalf of the Maui Disaster Relief Fund with our Hero program. And what we're doing with Maui, just so you guys know, we've partnered with the Red Cross, and that's how we're fundraising. All of those funds are going through the Red Cross. I also do want to point out that Morgan, our corporate assistant, has moved. Okay, so I know she's on this call right now, so I'm not going to make her chat, but she's had a long day. She had a whole moving experience across country from Colorado to California, where her husband is based in the Army, in Fort Irwin. So she is moving right now. She's a little crazy hectic. So please go ahead and email both Morgan and I if you are interested in creating one of these flyers. She'll probably still be on it like she always does, like she always is. But I just want to give her a little bit of relief right now while she's kind of in this transition period. Okay, so Morgan, thanks for joining the call. You definitely didn't have to do that after a 15-hour drive today, but you were awesome for doing that. So like I said, guys, if you want something like this created, please contact us, and we will get this made for you.
Perfect. Then I think we just have one more slide, right, Leslie? So we just wanted to kind of recap and share some of the action items that we thought were important to kind of move forward in the month of September, which I know is one of the biggest months that we usually have of the year. So just some things to keep in mind, making sure that you book every hero course that you possibly can for the month. If you need help with either, calling or just getting coverage, please let us know so we can send other people to help with your success in that. And then the other note would be to make sure that all of our Trello boards are all updated by this upcoming Monday. Corporate's going to be going through to just, I guess, come up with better game plans to close more courses. So in order for them to be able to do that, whether they're in, Colorado, California, or any one of our regions, those do have to be updated with that new template. So again, if you guys need help on that side, please let us know so we can help expedite that process by Monday for them. And then, after hearing David, I feel like, how do you not try to upsell banquet programs to all of your booked events? I feel like I have been to a ton of banquets after tournaments. We were taught back in the day that you never did not attend a banquet after a golf tournament. And then the last couple of years, you know, getting so busy, we started being able to kind of like skip out early. But even through all the years, I don't really, you know, remember seeing a ton of stuff at their banquets unless they have hired some sort of auctioneer already. So these programs are going to go like crazy. I think that they're going to be extremely thankful, and you're going to raise a ton of money in, you know, less than 30 minutes. So we're really excited to see your guys' success. And of course, let us know if you have questions, but you know, keeping in mind that we're starting the prepping for colder months in the colder weather states with online fundraising as well. So thank you everybody for joining the call today. I know we went a little bit long, but as always, Leslie and I would love to help you guys with anything and everything to make sure not only, you know, this month is successful for you, but the rest of the year. So if nobody has any other questions or anything, we'll let you guys go, but thank you again for everybody joining.
Thanks,
you,
Audra. What a great call. Everybody was so
Thank
really
you.
good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.